Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi here in freezing cold, snowy Massachusetts. We're having sprinkles of snow today, although several times I've been wearing t-shirts and shorts lately, but we've got this cold wind coming in, and I think the high today is 40, but the wind chill is going to make it 30. So I had to bring some plants indoors and break out more winter wear. I haven't washed the really heavy winter coat yet, so we'll be doing that soon. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today because I've been since last Monday, I've had to work every single day until yesterday when we had dog school for 2 hours to get ready for the Corgi show. So some of the things that happened, I had an online course about horses with Linda Tellington for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 7 or 8 hours each day. That was really fun, and it's always so great to see people learning about T-Touch and how to use it with their horses. We have Queen Elizabeth's birthday yesterday. Woohoo! Happy birthday, Queen Elizabeth. All the Corgis salute you. And then tomorrow is National Lost Dog Day. I can't encourage you enough to go online and get your dog some kind of a registration so that if he is lost, he is easy to find. Tristan uses one called Home Again, which is pretty cheap. And even if you don't pay the $20 a year to keep up with it or whatever it is, they still keep your dog on record. And if he's wearing that tag or is chipped to connect to a tag, they will be able to locate your dog if he's turned in anywhere where anybody sees his tag or scans him. So Home Again, great service. I recommend it for anybody who's in a rural area and has the potential, especially to lose your dog in a place where he's very endangered. I mean, of course, in the city too, but you have other issues there. So, and then today, little Tristan has to go to a new vet. And as many of you have noticed during COVID times, vets' offices are mobbed. You cannot get an appointment anywhere to save your life. And now I'm trying to get appointments with vets who don't know me because my sister's been my vet and she's no longer a vet practicing in anywhere I can get to. So I have to get a new vet, and it is not easy. The guy I really want to be my vet, who's a personal friend, of course, the people in his office are like, oh no, we're not taking new clients, see you in 100 years. Even though my horses saw him and I send him many clients. And in fact, one of my clients got an appointment this week with him and she's never seen him either. So what up with that? I don't know. So, and then I had a really great surgeon who is taking surgery clients that was going to cost me about $2,000, and I'm not even sure that Tristan needs surgery for this, but he might. Eventually, I wound my way up to a place not too far from here, more of a country vet. You know, they still have a stall and a little paddock where you can bring a sick horse to be monitored, that sort of thing. The original vet there is quite an older guy now, and he's got a new vet in, and they're still a regular vet service. So because they had records on my horses there, and in fact even one of my rabbits, they were like, sure, you're not a new client, we'll take your dog. You know, who knew? I know that a lot of my horse clients have said that they have one person do the spring shots, one person come if the horse looks lame, one person come for this, one person. So that way every vet thinks that you are their client, and when you really need something, you can get somebody to help you. And I can see that my dog is going to end up in the same situation. And, you know, I'm going to get another one at some point, and I'm going to have neutering for him and some other things. And, you know, it's just not a great situation for people like me who are between vets at the moment. So hopefully it goes well today. So to that end, we have a few things to talk about. Tristan is going up there to have a lump examined. So one of the things that you should do when you're going to a new vet, or even any vet right now, even a vet you know, is take a few minutes and type out what you're seeing, what's going on, a little bit of your dog's history, in case somebody in the office who's not your usual vet and there's 6 people there is going to be looking at them. And for instance, this lump is up in this area. I am going to put masking tape on him to hold his hair down so they can find it, because one of my friends went to the emergency clinic when her dog had hives, and the techs that were looking at the dog couldn't locate any of the hives. I mean, they were huge. I don't know why they couldn't see them, but it was a real problem, and she had to sit in the car and phone in and actually speak to a vet and explain carefully where they were. And she smartly had a little like aerial diagram of a dog with little circles where the hives were, so that she could tell them where to find them. So make sure you have some kind of written material that somebody can easily look at with really clear type about what's going on with your dog. You know, he's been throwing up. Well, how much? Where? What kind of stuff? You know, he has diarrhea. How long? How bad? When did he last eat? All that stuff. Put it down in writing for your vet. So we are going up to see this new vet about our lump. So I thought we would talk a little bit today about lumps on dogs. And anybody who's had an older dog has seen lumps on dogs. I certainly see plenty of lumps on dogs, because people bring their dogs to me and I have my hands on the dog, and I often will say, what is this spot? And most of the time they're like, oh, there was a tick there, or oh, I don't know, or oh, I've never seen that before. That's the scariest one. And I have found many very troubling lumps on dogs that have not come to a good end when I'm seeing them for my treatment, even if they've seen vets. So you can't be careful enough when you've got lumps on your dogs. So the most common one are fatty tumors, often on middle-aged and older dogs, usually around the rib cage. Although you can get them on the tummy. Comet had one on his under tummy. This is viewed as kind of a typical aging thing. I think diet has a lot to do with that. Weight of the dog has a lot to do with that. And the breed of the dog can have some influence with that. But again, bigger dogs and dogs that are overweight more often get these fatty tumors. I've rarely seen one on a Chihuahua. A sebaceous cyst is a blocked oil gland. So it looks like a pimple. It's little. This boy might have one up under his hind leg right now. Usually, when it bursts, there's like a pasty substance that comes out of it. And they are something you might find, for instance, when you take your dog to the groomer and they get a little too close, or, you know, a hair gets messed up in as they're shaving and irritated. So you might see a sebaceous cyst on a dog that often goes to the groomer. Although I think one of my Corgis had one once, and you know, he was the one that was always at the barn and rolling in stuff, and you know, probably not given as many baths as he should have had, and so he could have gotten one just from being kind of a rough and tumble guy. Another kind of thing that dogs can get are warts. These are caused by, as we know, by a virus. They're often found around the mouth on a younger dog, and they'll go away. But they're super contagious, so if your younger dog has warts around his muzzle and he plays with another dog, he could spread them. Older dogs, usually they go away in 5 or 6 months. This is what we first thought was going on with Tristan. However, his lump has a continuously reoccurring scab on it. It's not healing, and it's been 6 months, so that's a bad thing. But most warts, you know, you recognize them. They look sort of like the warts that you'd see on a human. They have a granular surface. They're usually like whitish, or maybe with a spot in the middle of dark. So that can be confusing for people. I mean, not all dogs get warts, and they are a different kind of lump than what you normally would expect. An abscess is when you get a buildup of really dead white blood cells under the skin. This can happen, you know, like if you've got a dog, like a rescue dog that's had lots of flea bites, or even if they've had a bite from like a wasp, or sometimes you'll see abscesses in the mouth where like a piece of food gets caught between the gum and the tooth, and it just builds up an infection, and you get this white gunk in that area. There's a dog I see now who has a kind of a raw patch on his face here from scratching at it, and he did have an abscess in a tooth. They took the tooth out. Not sure how well that went, because he's still itchy and very irritated in this area. and often, just like with the spine, you get one disc problem, there's usually an issue above and below it. With the teeth, often the one behind or next to, or has a problem too. So abscesses warrant concern because it is a sign of some kind of an infection going on. In that case, you might want to bring your dog to the vet. And then, of course, there's a skin cancer called mast cell tumors that's common in dogs. Mostly found in boxers, Boston Terriers, Schnauzers, Beagles, and Labradors. One of my clients now, who is none of those breeds, he's kind of a coonhound mix, but he might have some boxer in him, but he's got a big long nose, so unlikely. He just had a mast cell tumor removed on the inside of his thigh that was like that big. And he's a big dog, but he doesn't have a thigh like a Malamute. He looks like a pointer. So that's a lot to take something almost as big as your hand off of the inside of his thigh. But usually what they do with a mast cell tumor is remove it and try to get clean margins. These can spread and cause other problems, so it can be a real issue. So mast cell tumors, if you have any suspicion that your dog might have one of these, definitely bring him to the vet. And they can be caused by a lot of things. Again, diet critical. A lot of things that happen to be wrong with dogs when they age, or problems that you have, are caused from a lifetime of a bad diet. And I've mentioned this before. I don't think my sister talks about this much, but I've had a lot of black dogs that can eat chicken fine, as much as we all know that chicken's not great, but a lot of black dogs can eat chicken their whole life, and then as they get older and inflammation builds up in their body and they start to have joint problems from aging, that chicken is inflammatory. So I see a lot of black dogs that then start to develop a lot of inflammatory issues, including all kinds of lumps and bumps just from needing a change in diet as they age. So if you have been feeding your dog, like Tristan's on a cold diet because he's a hot dog. If you have a cold dog and he's getting old, that usually is a black dog, certain breeds, things like that. If your cold dog has been on a hot diet and he's getting to be 10, you might want to review your diet and put him on some more neutral foods like turkey, just to get that inflammation out so that you don't develop these strange skin tumors and things happening on your dog. So hopefully Tristan will go all right at the vet. I mean, honestly, I think I'm going to have to fight with them to take this thing off because it's not going away. A friend of mine, though, just came back from a long 3-month trip, and somebody gave him a cream to use on a problem he had, not a callus, not a corn, maybe a wart. We don't know. He's been to a lot of doctors about it. Nobody knows what the heck it is, and it's not going away, and it's where he walks, so it's a problem. He used this cream this friend gave him, and the thing cleared up completely in a couple weeks. And I think it had colloidal silver in it, but I'm not sure. My friend is not super informed on these things. So I might try that on Tristan's lump. I think the vet is going away for many weeks. So I do have some time to try that before we would be getting into surgery anyway. And then the Corgi shows soon thereafter. So if they can't take this off pretty smartly, it's going to interfere with, the Corgi show, which I have waited now for 2 years. So is Tristan. He's just getting older. He has so few Corgi shows left in him. We can't miss one, can we, Biss? No, sir. We love the Corgi show. And we spent a lot of time practicing for it yesterday. We had 4 runs in agility. Sometimes we only get 2. And he was pretty good. The 12 weave poles are hard for the little guy. He has not made so many mistakes in weave poles in months. And yesterday in dog school, he was doing well, and the very last one he missed, and you're supposed to always go back and start again. I'm not sure that's always the smartest thing in terms of learning, because then he started circling 2 and then 3, because that's what we do in rally with cones. And I had treats and a lot to teach him again how to do them the correct way. Hopefully he'll get it when we go to the show. We got a couple of more tries. So everybody have a great day. I hope your dog has no lumps and bumps on him. And if he has anything that looks sketchy, definitely bring him to the vet. The general rule of thumb is if the lump is movable, like a fatty tumor would be, Tristan's complaining, that's usually not bad. If the lump is not movable, that's usually a problem, because a lot of cancers have these long fingers that reach out. into the body of the dog. So definitely check out any lumps on your dog. And make sure you put your hands all over your dog at least once a week, just to make sure you can feel where lumps and bumps are that might be new or different. At this time of year, we're certainly checking for ticks all the time, so that's one thing. All right, thanks for joining us today. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your dog. I think next week I actually am back on Tuesday. They have us working for my educator job Monday and Wednesday, although things are in total flux all the time with that job. I mean, they're moving days around and I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday to Queen Elizabeth. Enjoy your dogs and we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us.